So, good afternoon, all. So, as I told you, with the module one, which was introduction part, we are ending the module one portions. Today, we are dealing with type conversions and casting, automatic type promotion in expressions, and something about string. Not much about string, just an introduction portion, right? So, as a recap, I had told you about the multidimensional arrays, creation of 2D array, jagged arrays, its initialization process. We had seen some examples, some assignments too. So, agenda of today's class, as I told you, type conversion and casting, automatic type promotion in expressions, and strings. So, remember, students, this is usually frequently asked question. I hope you be able to know what is it. Might be it is bit difficult for you to understand, but then you have to make it up. If you have any doubts, you can ask me at the end too. Coming to type conversions. Okay, so any as per the name, any guesses? What is it doing? Any guesses? Type conversion means what? Any guesses? Okay. So very simple as it is, we are converting a data of one type to another type. That's all. Converting a data or a value of one type to another type. So when I talk about type here, it is the data types. Okay. So it is the data types. Okay. So we all know that Java supports primitive data types. There are how many primitive data types, students? How many primitive data types? Can anybody guess? How many primitive data types we have in Java? Hope I am audible.
8, ma'am.
8. Okay. So you all know there are 8 data types and you all know which are the data types. It's a size. You all know that. Okay. So, so whenever we are writing a program, so usually what we try to do is we assign a value of one data type to the same data type. For example, say I write int a equals to 10, int b equals to a. So b is also int, a is also int. There is no problem. But if b is of a different data type, so there should be some type conversions. That's what I'm telling. When we assign a value of one data type to another data type, the two types may not be compatible with each other. It's not possible to assign one data type to another value of one data type to another data type value. It's not possible. We cannot do that. Sometimes they are compatible, sometimes they are not compatible. But then Java looks for the compatibility. So when does it look for compatibility? We'll see in the further slide. If the data types are compatible, then the Java will perform conversion automatically. Automatically it does the conversion. When does it do conversion automatically? When it is compatible. What is that compatibleness? We'll see. Okay, that such kind of conversions automatically, we call it as automatic conversion or implicit type conversion, right? So implicitly the type will be converted. So you need not have to worry. The programmer need not have to worry. And we need not have to do something explicitly. We need not have to be typecast or converted explicitly. So implicitly only the Java itself will do the conversion. Okay. So for example, I'm just giving you assigning a int value to a long variable. Suppose say I have a int value. I'll show with the program too. If I'm assigning a int value to a long variable, Java will do automatic conversion. Why? Because it is compatible. Int value can be assigned to long variable. Why? When does it do automatic conversion is when you are assigning a smaller data type to a larger data type. So you all know that in Java, int is made up of how many bytes, students? Int is made up of how many bytes? If you could remember, someone can tell me.
4
Int is made up
bytes.
of how many bytes? Bytes.
4 bytes.
4 bytes. And long is made up of how many bytes?
8 bytes.
8 bytes. So what am I trying to store is, I am trying to store 4 byte data into 8 byte data. So it's very good example. Suppose say you have two containers. One is big container, one is small container. Okay. Small container has some item. Okay. Something it is having. Let's not worry about it. Say it has got some biscuits. Can I put the container, the small container biscuits into the empty huge container? Can I do that? Can I do that? Yes or no, students? A large container is there, a small container is there having some entities. Okay, let's not bother. Can I place, can I transfer this to the large container without any harm? Yes or no? Yes or no, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Easily. Will there be any loss of data which is there in a small container?
No, ma'am.
I can easily put this data into the large container. That is automatic conversion. So when we are storing or assigning a smaller data type to a larger data type, automatic conversion will happen. Okay? This is automatic conversion. For example, there will be no automatic conversion from double to byte. So you all know that double is how many size of double, students? If you could remember, how many bytes? Double?
8 bytes.
8 bytes. What is byte? Size of byte?
8 bits.
8 bits. That is 1 byte. Can I store 8 byte data in 1 byte? No, not possible. Not possible. If at all, if I try to store, you can guess what will happen. So if I try to transfer the huge container data to the small container, what will happen? Any guesses? Can I fill all the data of huge container in the small container? Can I fill it?
No, ma'am.
No, I cannot fill. That means my data which is there in the huge container, if I transfer to the small container, there will be spilling of data. Means to say loss of data. If I talk about programming aspect, the data will be lost when you try to store large data type to a smaller data type. Wherein Java will not do it implicitly. If you really want to do it, you should do explicit casting. Explicit casting, you yourself have to do it. The programmer has to do, but Java doesn't support. Obviously, isn't it so? Right? So, when we talk about the type conversions, okay, there are two types, as I told you: implicit conversion, explicit conversion. Implicit is a one which is done by the Java compiler itself. Explicit is a one which is done by the programmer. And remember, implicit will happen when we are storing smaller data type value to a larger data type. Explicit will happen when we are storing larger to a small. Okay. The other names you can see. Sometimes in your exams, they may ask you, explain correlation and casting. So correlation is nothing but implicit. Casting is explicit. So you should remember this. Okay. Now, automatic conversions. I'm just telling about the first type. Automatic conversion means, what is the other name for this automatic conversion? What is the other name, students?
Implicit
Implicit
conversion.
conversion.
That's it. Or you can also tell the other name, which is correlation. Coercion. Correlation. Okay. So when does this automatic conversion happen? Very simple. When one type of data is assigned to another type of data, the automatic conversion will take place with the following two conditions are met. What is the two conditions? The two types are compatible. Remember, simply it will not do automatic conversion. The two data types should be compatible, and the destination type should be larger than the source type. Means to say, whatever you are storing, okay, the destination type, wherever you want to store, that should be a larger one compared to what you are trying to store. We'll see with examples. So only when these two conditions are met, there's one more name again given to it, widening conversion takes place. You are widening it, isn't it? Smaller is stored to larger means uh, uh, the size is widened, isn't it? Smaller is 4 byte. You're trying to store in larger of 8 byte means it is more, right? So widening conversion will happen. There's another name also here. Okay. So I told you two types of are compatible. What are those two types are compatible means? Only the numeric types are compatible with each other. What are your numeric types? As you all know, integer and floating point types. That means to say I can store integer to float, right? Easily. Integer, between them there is compatibleness. We'll see with an example there. Okay, but there is no automatic conversions from the numeric types to char or boolean. You cannot store int value to char or float value to char. That is not possible. There's no automatic conversions. You have to do explicit, right? So widening, see, it is like this. I can store byte in short, int, long, float, double. Easily I can store, no problem. I can store short in int, long, float, double, like this. So this you should remember, okay? Byte, smaller data type, I can store with the larger data types. Similarly, int. Can I store int value in short? Can I store int value in
No,
short?
you can't.
No, we cannot. But explicit typecasting ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, but not automatic conversion. Similarly, long, I can store in float, double. Okay, so like this. So you should remember this widening way of the picture there, right? So byte, short, int, long, float, double. As per the size, byte, you know, it is 1, short is 2, int is 4, long is 8, then float is 4 or 8. Float is 4, double is 8 bytes. So this you can remember. Okay, so we'll see one small example. I've just taken one small example there. So what is I, ma? What is I for me here, students? What data type?
Integer
What
data
data type? Integer data type. I is now an integer. Okay, just see. Long L equals to I. Okay, what is I to me? I is what, ma? Int. L
Integer 100, ma'am.
100. It is, we are talking about the data type now. I is int. L is what? Which data type? Which
Long.
data type? Long. So what am I trying to store? I'm just trying to store int value in long. Can I store it? Can I store int value in long?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So what will happen here? I'm storing into long, smaller to a larger. So what type of conversion will happen? What type of conversion will happen, students?
Implicit.
Implicit. The automatic type.
Automatic.
Actually, it is not possible to store, but Java will take care. It will take care. Okay, you can store it. No problem. Next example you can see. Let's see what I'm trying to store. What am I trying to store in what? I'm storing what to what?
Long in float.
Long in float. I can do it. I can do it. You can remember that arrow mark. Byte, short, int, long, float. From float, you can store it to double. Yes? Yes or no? What is the size
ma'am.
of floats?
Yes, ma'am.
Size of float? Right? So I'm just printing the int value, long value, float value, and I'm ending the program. So let me just execute this for you in the compiler. There won't be any issue. Okay, it will execute. I'll just put this in the compiler and show you. Okay, is the screen visible? Students?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am.
I will not give about. There won't be any harm. Automatically, it will be stored. I think size of float. I didn't get the answer. What is the size
4
of
by
float?
2.
4 byte. Okay. Okay. So this is main. I'll just change this to main. Let me run. Legal character. Why is it so? Once. Okay. Some dot is there. Okay. Okay. Can you see that? Int value is 100. I'm printing I value. It is 100. I'm printing the long value. It is printing. No problem. 100. And I'm storing even long value to float. Okay. So there's no problem there. So you can just see here, right? It is 100.0 because it is in float value, long to float. Okay. So this will deal with automatic type conversion. So the compiler itself will take care of converting the same. Okay. Is that clear, students? Yes or no? Yes. Yes
Yes,
or
ma'am.
no, ma? Okay, very simple. Yeah, it is possible to store small data type to larger data type. Which all that diagram by that life becomes simpler there. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next we will see the incompatible data types. What we should do. Value of larger. Okay. Am I audible, students? Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Audible.
Okay. So say I want to store or assign a value of
Yes, ma'am.
to
Now,
a smaller data type. Okay. So in that case, obviously you know that um, uh, it is not try to store larger container to a smaller container, my data will spill out, right? Overflow will happen, wherein I will lose my data. That's the reason Java will not do automatic conversion when you are assigning a larger data type to a smaller data type. So it is left to the user. You do. If you want, you do lose the data. Okay. But whereas in automatic conversion, there won't be any loss of data. So remember this. No loss of data in automatic, but in explicit, there is loss of data. Okay. I will show you the example. So it's very simple. You can see the example here. We can assign, we cannot assign, sorry, a int value to a byte variable. Very simple. You all know int is made up of how many bytes? 4 bytes. Okay, I cannot store it in a byte which is made up of how many bytes, students? 1. Larger to a smaller. Not possible. Because byte is smaller than the data type int. Isn't it? Okay. So in this case, somehow you want to store irrespective of whatever is the situation where the data loss is happening, somehow you have to store. In that case, we need to perform explicit typecasting It's sometimes also called as narrowing conversion. Narrowing in sense, you know how the narrowing diagram looks. If I have to write a narrowing, it will be like this, isn't it? Narrow. So what am I trying to do? I'm reducing the size from the huge one. I'm moving to a smaller one. But the widening is in the opposite direction. Widening is like this, isn't it? Smaller to the larger. Yes, smaller to the larger. This is how the widening looks, isn't it? So it is called as narrowing conversions. Okay. So it is basically useful for the incompatible data types wherein automatic conversion is not supported, cannot be done. So how do we do it? So we have to cast. It is called as casting. How do we do that? It has this general form. You see here. Value. For that value, you should give the target type. What is this target type? The target type is nothing but the desired type you want to convert to the specified value to. Right? What is the desired type you want to convert this value to? Suppose if value is int, you want to convert to byte, then what is my target type? If value is int, you want to convert to byte, what is my target type? Target type must be what? I'm converting a value which is of type int to byte. Int to be converted to byte. Can anybody guess what is the target
Byte, ma'am.
value? Should byte. So I
Byte.
should give the target value as the byte. Very good. So target is what? Specifies the desired type to convert the specified value to. So the value what you are having to what you want to convert, that you should specify. Okay. With the example, you will be more clear. So I'm just giving you one small example wherein I'm trying to convert int and double to byte. So as I told you, very important point, in explicit typecasting, there is what loss? What loss?
Data,
Students.
ma'am. Data is
Data is lost. Data is lost. Okay, let us see how the data is lost. Because int, you know, it is made up of 4 bytes. Double, you know, it is made up of how many bytes? 8. And you are storing it in how many byte? How many byte will occupy? Size. How much
One,
it is?
ma'am. One,
Int
ma'am.
is how much, ma? 1. 4. This is 8. And it is taking only 1. How is it possible? Let us see what will happen, how the data is lost. Okay. Let us see now. Small program I have taken. Okay. So I declared one variable byte. B is my byte variable. I declared one variable I, which is an integer. So you can just observe the integer value is 257. Okay. So before I go for the next line of program, what all values a byte can have? Range of values, if you could remember. It starts from 0 to how
0
many?
and 1.
1 byte. No. Byte. Range of values. Not bit. Byte. Byte, the range of values. What is the range of values for byte? 0 to, if you could remember. I gave you one formula.
63, ma'am.
To I had given you one formula, right? 2 power something. 2 power n minus 1 minus 1. So what is n for me here? 8. 2 power,
Yeah, ma'am. Width.
yes. 2 power 8 minus 1. What was the formula which I had given you? Forgot the formula. You should remember the formula. Okay, anyways. So the values a byte will take is 0 to 255. It is taking only positive values, right? So byte, it is from 0 to 255. Hope it is Yes, 0 to 255. So it will take the values from 0 to 255. Okay. So let us see now what will happen next. Just remember this. Double is D. D is declared as double with value 323. Conversion of int to byte. I'm just printing a message. Conversion of int to byte. So just see here. Don't see this. Just see what is happening now. I am assigning I to B. So it is nothing but storing a larger one to a smaller one. In that case, what should I write in the parenthesis? I want to convert into to what, ma? What is the target type?
Byte.
Byte. Okay. What is the value of I now? I value is 257. Okay. Just see and I execute. I will show you what's happening. So I will print the values. What is I? What is B? I is 257. Can anybody guess what does B contain? Any idea? B will also contain 257 only or something else? B will also contain 257?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
No,
That's okay. We'll see. We'll execute and see. Then again, assigning double to byte. So what should I do, ma? I'm trying to assign D to B. D is a double. B is my byte. So what is my target type? Again, byte. Again, I will print the same. Okay. So you are telling now what does I contain? Sorry, what does B contain in the first step? Here, B contains what here? B contains what? 257? Sure. B contains 257. Okay. In the next step, what does B contain? When I'm trying to assign double to byte, what is double value? 323.142. Will B contain 257 and 323? Any idea? Will B contain the same or something else? I told you when we do explicit typecasting, there is what? There
loss
is
of
what,
data.
student? Loss of data. So will it contain same values, whatever is there in I and D? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
No. No. Okay. Because there is a data loss. Very simple. Yeah. You're trying to transfer larger container data to a small container. Obviously, the data will spill out. It will not store everything, right? Similarly, here also data loss. Let us see what is that data loss with the execution. Or what does it print? Let me take this. Okay. See, you should remember this because okay. Let me execute and see. Will I contain the same? Just see here. I, which was 257, what is B containing? B containing what, ma? B is containing what? Can you see the output, students? What is B containing?
Yes, ma'am. 1.
1. Similarly, D, which was 323, after typecasting, explicit typecasting, B became what? 67. You can see 257 became 1 now. 323 became 67. Isn't it? There is a data loss. How is the data loss happening? Because You all know that byte can hold only from the values 2 to 0 to 255. But you are trying to store what value in byte? What is the value of I, students? What is the value of I? 257. It is a huge
257.
value. It cannot hold. So what it does is, uh, in the compiler, it will operate on modulus. Remainder modulo operation will be done. What does it do is, it can hold 0 to 255. That means how many values it can hold? 256 values. It can hold how many values, students? 256 values. That means it will calculate that remainder modulo operation. What does it do? It takes I modulo 256. What was I, ma? I was what? 257 mod 256. What is this? What is the value? What is the value? 257 mod 256. What is the value, ma? Modulus.
1, ma'am.
1. That's the reason your B will contain what? 1. The reason because it is out of the range. It can hold only from 0 to 255, but not greater than that. Similarly here, what does it do? B is equal to D mod 256. What is D mod? It will take 323, right? 323 mod 256. What is the value there? What is it? 323 minus 256. Ones are only, right? How much is it? How much is it, ma?
1, ma'am.
Hey, remainder, not the quotient.
67.
67. Because you might question me, ma'am, why this 142 is left? Modulus will not work on floating point. It works only on integers. It will consider 323 only. So the answer is 67. That's how the answer here is 67 and 1. Okay. So I'll make one small change here. Tell me what is the value of B in this case. Here, what is the value of B if I change I to 251? What is the value of B if I change I to 251? Value of B here. Is it the same or what will happen? I is 251, students. What is the value of B when I typecast and store? And I is 251, students. Hope I am audible.
251.
It will store 251. Why? Why it will store 251? Because the value of I is within the range 0 to 255 only, isn't it? It is not outside the range, right? I know. B is minus 5. How come? $251. Minus 5. One second. Okay, is 0, it will store 0. Is say 50. Oh God. B is 67, B is 50. Okay. Say I give 150. Okay, 106 minus 125. To power 7 is 127. Power 8. Minus 128. Just wrap around. 127. 127. 6. 7 mod 120. 256.
Range of weight is minus 128 to 127.
Minus 128 to
127.
27. Yes. Yes. This, I think I made a mistake. Yes. Minus 128
8, ma'am.
to plus 127. So this will come up to 256 values. Yes, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes. So minus, it can store up to minus 122, minus 128 to 127. So it will take 256 values. But when I give this concept, it will be 1. Then the answer is correct. But then the rest answers I am not getting correct. So if I give 128 here, it is 128 mod 256. This is not correct then. Modulus 256, how does it work? Wraparound will should happen. Okay. Some wraparound concept is there. I'll deal with this later when it ranges between, and then still. Okay, anyways, I'll deal with this later in the next class. So wraparound concept you have to know here. I'll deal with that in the next class. So just try to remember this is the min and the max value with the, which has got 256 values, and it will do remainder modulus operation. So when it crosses this value, some wraparound concept is there that I will deal with the next class. Okay. So the widening operation is, the narrowing operation is like this. Double to float, you have to remember again the reverse of it. Double to float, float to long, long to int to short, short to byte. So this is how it can be stored with respect to narrowing operation. Similarly, another example where I am trying to store double to long. This see here. This is double to long. So if you could remember here, it's now possible for us to store double to long. All right. So again, what is the data that gets lost? We will just say. So when I store D which is 100.04 to long, can anybody guess what will happen? What will happen in this case? Can anybody guess? When I store D to long, which is a double, what does L contain, students? L will contain what? What value L contains? What does L contain? Double is stored to long. Long is what data type? Integer data type or floating point data type?
Integer.
Integer. So what does L contain now? If I store double to L, that is
100.
long, 100. Very simple. So 100, I might tell it is L because it is a long value. Okay, just for your illustration. Similarly, now I am storing L, which was a long, to an int value. Okay? So long L to an int value, right? So let us see what does it print. The double value, the fractional part will be lost. As I told you, it will print only 100. And similarly, you can just see here the value of int. Again, you can see the fractional part is lost. Okay, I think it's D. It is not L here. It should give me a D there. Okay, so let's execute the same and see. L. Okay, we'll just see this double and L. Double is converted to long, and similarly, this is D, not L. So D again here is converted to integer. So D double is converted to long, double is converted to int. Definitely there will be loss of fractional part. Okay, just execute that. You can just see double value which was now 100. It is now converted to a long value which is just 100 and int value which is also just 100. You can see that the fractional part is lost. So this means to tell that when we are going for the conversions, right? When we are going for the conversions, you can just observe here, when we are trying to convert double or float to long or to int, right? There will be loss of data. So the fractional part has been truncated. Similarly, when I go for storing long to int, again that remainder modulus operation will be performed if it crosses the range. And as I told you, wraparound concept will be there. So I will tell you that in the next class, how exactly that wraparound will happen. But just try to remember that there will be loss of data when we deal with our explicit typecasting. Okay. Next is about automatic type promotions in expressions. What is this automatic type promotion in expressions is when we have expressions, certain times automatic conversions will happen. Okay. So I've just given some example here. Just look at it. A is 40, which is a byte. B is 50, which is also a byte. C is 100, which is also a byte. Okay. So what I'm trying to do here is, I am trying to multiply A star B divided by C. Okay. Can anybody tell me what is A star B? I'm storing it in int. That's a different issue. Right? What is A star B, ma? 40 into 50 is how much? 40 into 50 is how much? What is A star B? 40 into 50 is how much, students? 2000. Which you know that this will exceed the range of byte operands. As you know, byte can hold how much value? -127 to 128, but you are storing 2000. It is not possible, right? So what basically the compiler does is, in order to solve this kind of a problem, the compiler will automatically convert byte, short, and character values to int while uh, while evaluating an expression. Automatically, you do not have to worry. If there is an expression, automatically it will convert byte, short, and char to int. Remember. So what will happen is, since A and B are byte, it will automatically convert to what value, students? This is an expression, right? Well, you know what is an expression? Made up of operands and operators. So this is an expression. Automatically AB will be converted to int. Similarly, C also. So what will happen now? What will happen now in this case? 2000. 2000 divided by 100. 20. So D will contain what value? 20 value. Automatically, there won't be any error here. There won't be any error, right? Similarly, the next example, if I give byte B is equal to 50 and I give B is equal to B star 2. What is B, ma? B is how much, ma, here? B is what? 50. What is the data type of B? What is the data type of B, students?
Integer.
What is the data type of B?
Sorry.
Byte.
Byte. So you know that this is an expression, right? When this is an expression, byte will automatically convert to what data type? What data type? Byte will automatically convert to what data type in an expression? In an expression to int. So when I do this, automatically it will convert, it will not ask you. B will become, which was byte, will become int. 50 into 2 is what? 100. What is this 100 now? Byte or int? 100 which I get, it is of int. It will be of type int. So I get a error here. Error will be what? Cannot assign an int to a byte. So I'll explain to you all. You should give me the solution. What is the solution for the same? Okay. Suppose I give byte B equals to 50 and I give B is equal to B star 2. Right. Right? So I'll just execute and show you why, what will happen. Can you see? Incompatible types, possibly lossy conversion from int to byte. But you might question me, ma'am, B is also byte, here also byte, but what will happen? In an expression, automatically byte, char, float will be, sorry, byte, char and short will be converted automatically to integer. Automatically, you don't have to worry. So this will tell that I cannot convert. Now, what is the solution to this problem? You can see now B star 2 is 100. 100 is within the range, minus 127 to 128. I'm not able to store here. I'm getting an error. What should I do now? Any idea? What casting should I do? I should convert what? This into what value? What is B?
Byte.
Byte. So what casting should I use here? What casting? See why this error came, because compiler will not make me to store larger data type to smaller data type. B star 2 was what, ma? Integer. Are you trying? Are you getting? It was trying to assign byte to int. Sorry, int to byte. So B star 2 was int. That was tried to assign to byte, which is not possible. So what should I do here? Which casting? Which casting? How do I store larger to smaller? Which casting should I use?
Larger to smaller, explicit.
Which casting should I use, ma? explicit typecasting. So explicit typecasting. So I should typecast what? B star to, which is an int, to byte. The solution is this for this. Then there won't be any problem. No problem. It will execute. Are you understanding? Remember, given in an expression, automatically byte, short, and char will be promoted to int. Wherein, in such kind of situations, though it is within the range, you get an error. To do that, you should do explicit typecasting. So you should take the measures. Okay. Similarly, when all automatic type promotions will happen, when especially to expressions, as I told you, all byte, short, char will be promoted to int. Okay. Next, if in the expression I'm talking, expression irbeko. Expression means what? Collection of operators and operand. So if one operand is long in the expression, the whole expression is long, promoted to long, irrespective of whatever it is. If one operand is float, the whole entire expression is promoted to float. If any of the operand is double, the result is double. Remember, okay? If one is long, the entire expression is long. One is float, the entire expression is float. If one of the operand is double, the result is double. Okay? One small example here. Just I'll go to the example directly. Just see this expression. Okay, this is the expression. Tell me f star b. What is f? F is what, ma? F is what value? Quickly tell me what is f. What is f? Data type of f. Students.
Float.
Float. Float star b. What is b? B is what? B is byte. Isn't it? Okay. What is the first conversion that happens? In B, which is byte, will be converted to what, students? First rule. Byte will be converted to what data type? What data type? Yeah. Int data type. Next. Float is there. Right? So what is the second rule? It's the third rule. It tells if one of the operand is float, the entire expression is promoted to float. Now, what is the answer of f star b? It will be, this is float now. This is float. The other one is int. So what is the data type of f star b? Data type I want. The entire data type of f star b is what, ma? Float or int?
Float.
Float. The entire will be float. Right? Next. I bar c. What is I, ma? Int. What is c? C is what? C is what? Data type of C. C is what?
Character.
Character. Now, what is the promotion? It happens here. C, which is char, will now become what? Int. Right? So int by int, no problem. The result will be what data type here? Int only. Result will be int only. Yes. Next, D star S. What is D? What is D? Students? Double. What is S? Short. Right? So S, which is short, will be changed to what, ma? What data type? Int. Right? So now D star S. D is a double and this is a int. So what is the rule that it tells? Is there any rule? If one of the operand is what? Double. The result is double. Isn't it? So you can see this is double means the whole will be what? Yeah? Double only. Right? Now just tell me what will happen. Now this is float, this is int, and this is double. So what is the resultant data type? Resultant data type. What is the resultant data type, students?
Double.
It is double. Why? Because this is float and int. Float and int idre, the resultant will be float. Float ith. Right? So float with double. So the preference will be given always for the huger data type. So one of this is double, so it will be double. The result will be of type double. So you do not have to scratch much about it, but you should know the rule. So automatically byte short char will be promoted to int. One is long, the entire expression is long. One is float, the entire expression is float. One of the operand is double, the result is double. Very simple. The result definitely will be double. If one of the operand is a double, irrespective of whatever it is, the result will be double. Why? Because double has got more space compared to float and int. So that's the reason it will be double. Okay. The last thing, string. So as I told you, there's a string data type which is used to declare your string variables. Okay. I'll just go to the example. So to declare a string, usually we had character of arrays, but in Java, there is a string data type only. So you can declare any string variable using a string data type, which looks like this. Okay. So you can give the double quoted string value, and which can be printed by using ln statement. Okay. So I'll just show you this. String str is equal to, so as I told you, it should be quoted in double quotes. System.out.println. I'll just print this. So string is a data type used to store a string, that is array of characters. You can just see it printed Java. Are you understanding? So you need not have to use array of characters. There's a data type available called as string. So S should be capital. So you can see earlier only we had used string. It's store the string value. Is that clear, students? Is that clear? Yes, or no? Okay, fine. I think
Yes,
I think I took 3-4 minutes extra. It's fine. Issue for a day. Yes. Any doubts you have, students? Any doubts? No doubts? Okay. Which data type is used to store a string? Which is a data type in Java to store string? Which is the data type to store string ma? Students. Which is the data type to store string? Okay, good, Sushma. Okay, what are the different types of conversions available? Quickly. Any one form of conversions that you know? Different types of conversions? Implicit and explicit. Okay, implicit is done when we are trying to store. Trying to store a value of smaller data type to larger data type. Very good. Okay. Explicit will happen when you are trying to store larger to smaller. Okay. Which leads to data loss? Which leads to data loss? Typecasting. Explicit. So explicit sometimes it is also called as typecasting. Implicit is sometimes also called as Croatian. Okay, so you have to remember both. Okay, fine. Anything else, students? Anything? No? If you have any doubts, you can ask, otherwise you can quit. Thank you, students.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, students.